This is a Heater Meals X chicken pasta Italiana. And we got these a while back from some kind of government program whenever we lost power in the area for over a week or so. So they started issuing these out at food points for anybody whose food went and spoiled. And we got curious, so we decided to go ahead and pick up one of these. It almost looks like an MRE, but instead of it being an actual MRE main plus a whole bunch of other things on the side, instead it is just an entree. That's not too bad, but you're going to be eating a couple of these throughout the day more than likely. Especially because this, like I said, is chicken pasta Italiana. You don't exactly have much in your stomach for long. You can see the box took a little bit of damage here, but that's okay. Heater X Meals, the self-heating meal designed for extended storage. Look at that. Extended storage. So these are about 300 calories each, and you get about 2 of every single meal for a total of about 12 meals in a box. So you'll be eating, you have a nice little variety. Let's open this sucker up and see what we're working with. Okay. We have the actual main, which is in a metal envelope. Chicken pasta Italiana. Looks like you rip it up at the top, but we won't do that yet. We have our heating packet, which if you've ever watched like Steve MRE or anything, this will look very familiar for more modern day MREs that he reviews. You just fill it with water, and then it starts heating through some kind of chemical process. I guess it's no different than like the little heat packets that you can get in the winter that are supposed to just keep your hands warm and that you could stuff in your pockets. In the Windy City that we live near, that I work at, those really do come in handy. Now, these get extremely hot. Then we have pour into food heater bag to start heater. Not packaged for drinking. 2.357 fluid ounces of salt water. Okay, so this is a salt water packet to pour into there, I suppose. That's interesting. And then we have our accessory packet, which is just iodized salt and pepper with just a cheap little spoon and some napkins. So you don't really get much with this packet, I will admit. However, what do they expect you to do? You're not living off of these forever. You just need a couple meals to keep you going while they try to fix the power, because the power company sucks. Which, who would have thought that? All right. So it says tear here. Okay, so we got to tear the bag open. 0 out of 10. Actually burning calories. Just trying to get that in. Okay. And we take this and we stuff this. Oh, we stuff this into the bag. That's a little bit tricky, actually. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful. Cool. So now that that's in the bag, we take our fluid ounces and tear here, it says. Okay. Worry, we are in civilization still. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cheat a little bit and then get my fingers stuck. Yep, that cut through. So we just pour that in there, and that should activate the heating systems somehow. I don't know why it has to be salt water. We'll massage this real quick, and we might actually add a little bit more water because that's certainly not enough. That's supposed to go up to this line right here. We are at about made in the USA. We feel it getting a little bit hotter. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this thing down, and then we are going to roll it just a wee bit and stick it back into this box for now. We'll let that cook down in there for a bit. Let's see. How long does this say? After 10 to 12 minutes, meal is hot and ready to serve. Remove entree from heater bag and open at tear notch. Pour onto tray and enjoy. If you can't see it, it says it right there. Cool. Well, I'm going to clean up my garbage, and then I'm going to continue with the video. Now, since I have about a dozen of these packets, I'd like to do a small little series covering each one and reviewing each one. So, since there are 2 duplicates about inside the box, that means at least 6 different videos for these food packets. Of course, these are pretty much like the MREs that people use in the military. And when I mean people, I mean meat bags meant to block bullets, because that's all you are to the military. This is a MRE from about the 1980s. It's probably not good at all. As a matter of fact, the writing you can barely even see, but it's menu number 12. Scalloped potatoes with ham. You got an accessory packet and everything, but it is about the same size if you look at it. The only difference is, of course, you get way more with this, and it's a lot more calories too. I think most of these MREs are about 1,000 something calories, while this is simply 300 calories. And you're looking at about the same size box. You get a lot more stuff with this too. Like I said, with your accessory packets, you get some gum types, you get some side menus. Of course, with one as old as this, I'm not sure if it's as fancy as that. However, there are MREs that are new. Now, the history of the MRE is a little bit wild and crazy. However, it could basically be broken down into this. During about World War I, the Germans had something called the iron ration that was supposed to be just an emergency ration that could be used. It mostly consisted of a few cans of food, meat, maybe some bread and or crackers. And they continued having this tradition into World War II. However, in World War II, the U.S. developed things called K rations. K rations were canned food menus that were supposed to sustain soldiers for a limited time when they were in combat and could not get access to warm meals. The Germans had the iron ration that they expanded on. So not only did they have a few cans of meat, not only did they have bread and or crackers, but they also had some kind of porridge and or soup, whether it was pea soup or kind of like an oatmeal soup. Either way, they added to that and expanded on it. It was still not very much, and soldiers complained that they could eat the entire emergency iron ration in one day if they weren't careful, so it still wasn't a very good design. The K ration wasn't much better. It had very few calories compared to what soldiers needed on the front, but it's all they had. The K ration would then be succeeded with a few other designs that mostly consisted of boxes of canned goods for soldiers all the way into Vietnam. But when they reached Vietnam, they started toying around with a better idea of supplying their soldiers. They developed a freeze dried ration called the LLRP, or Long Range Patrol Ration, or LRPs. The LRPs were highly prized compared to the normal foods, which were all just metal cans. If you had to take any rations into you in the field in that way, it was going to be a lot heavier, it was going to be a lot more noisy, and it was going to be a pain on your back, so you couldn't carry as much. The LRPs were basically freeze dried and stuck into bags not too dissimilar from this. Of course, that would be the true beginning of the combat ration. And from then on, we continued toying with the idea until we eventually got the MREs, or the meals ready to eat. Now, meals ready to eat are military grade. That's not necessarily a good thing, though, because if it is military grade, that means that it is the cheapest thing that they can produce that will still be effective. When somebody says something is military grade, you should shy away from that. And they have developed other rations, civilian companies and whatnot, that work like MREs, that store like MREs, but they are healthier for you as well as having more calories. So eating stuff like this is not very good for you, especially not multiple days in a row. Could cause constipation, stomach issues, and they give you gums for that in the newer MREs because of those reasons. Which is why I'm as interested as I am trying to look at this Heaters X meals. I want to see how well it shores up against other MREs, or I guess other government MREs. These are just civilian grade. I'm not sure where they picked them up at. Heck, they could have just picked them up at Walmart or something, more than likely. But I want to see how they compare to rations. I've had a few rations in the past. I have an entire box of emergency rations in my room just in case something does happen. The fact that when something did happen, we had plenty of canned food helped. But even so, the government was there to give us a few of these boxes to just make sure everybody was good. And a lot of people weren't. A lot of people did turn up to these ration points, if you will. It was surprisingly a desperate time, which is ironic because we're not even that far out into the countryside. It's not like we're in the mountains, getting hit by a hurricane and being completely stranded from the rest of the world. You drive like 5 minutes, you reach like a major town. So the fact that we lasted like 7 days without any energy, any electricity, it's a little weird. But hey, now it's been about 10 minutes ish. I don't really know how warm this is going to be. It does feel pretty warm through the box to the touch. But we shall see. I'll give it a couple more minutes in the meantime, I am probably going to grab a side for myself because 300 calories, one little meal box, that's not very good. That's not going to keep me full for long. I'm a growing boy, you know. I'm growing, and no matter how much I eat, I like lose weight. Like I eat like 6 meals a day, and I'm like 160 pounds. It's because I have a tapeworm, multiple tapeworms, 20 feet long. Okay, but I will be back. Okay, I've got three things for myself here, just as like little snack sides. I've got a Nature Valley crunchy honey oats and honey bar. It's kind of like granola, but way more messy. I've got a Moon Pie since 1917. This is going to be my nice little dessert. And I've got some airy wafers just to tide me over so I do not immediately eat that moon pie. That's going to be like my extra little sides for myself because this is a very bare bones. It's basically a microwave TV dinner without having access to your microwave. So you have to heat it up somehow to make it enjoyable. So they give you a little heating packet. And of course, I'm going to start with the Nature Valley Crunchy Oats because why not? I love these things. These things, I pack these in my lunch every day. And in some places, I think it was like Honduras, they have crunchy Nature Valley bars along with milk, actually. They have like shelf stable milk in their rations, I believe, which is very cool. That's something the US doesn't do either. We basically have Lunchables for our MREs. They're garbage. And that's why they have the, I think they're called nutrients ready to eat, or NRAs. They're just overall much more healthy for you, and they don't compromise the amount of calories. Because like I said, once again, just because it's military grade doesn't mean it's good. It is the cheapest thing that can reliably get the job done. And that's what MREs are. They're very cheap, very gross food that doesn't taste very well and likely will have a lot of problems for you in the future if you're eating them constantly. Now, other countries, they do not skimp out on their rations like we do. Places like France, Scandinavia, they have amazing rations, very high quality. Ours, not so much. All right. All right. So this meal should be done now. And from the feel of it, yeah, it's pretty hot. The bottom, though, feels pretty cold. So I don't know if it cooked evenly or not. But there you go. There is a smell, a chemical smell coming out of this. And it's pretty damn hot. Look at that. Ooh, wow. That burns. Well, I'm going to go ahead and remove this from the heating packet and throw the heating packet away. Or maybe I should just keep it in the sink for a little while. Here's our ration packet. It's actually pretty warm, especially on this side. So it didn't exactly cook evenly. So we'll just have to mix it up a wee bit like that. I mean, who really cares, though? I don't. It's going into my stomach either way. Let's see. These aren't the best to open. There you go. All right. I'm going to pry this open. We are going to lay it out. The military has a similar main that they have. I can't remember what exactly the menu is called. Oh, yeah. You could smell. Even my nose blindness, I could still smell the garlic. This is a very, very powerful smell here. Just make sure we get all that sauce out real quick. Or at least most of it. Good. That smells good. I'm impressed I can even smell that. It does look a little bit liquidy, like it should have some kind of thickener. Now they gave us iodized salt and pepper. I might as well use both of them just to add a little bit of flavor. And then we'll stir this up too, because why not? Now this doesn't come with anything else, like I said multiple times. I got a drink. I got an Arizona iced tea. Because I would normally drink something out of my refrigerator with this, but technically you're not supposed to right now. Because technically, what we're doing, the only reason why we'd eat this is because we'd have no power. So I have a canned drink here. I'd prefer to drink something not water related. Let's have a look-see here. Let's give it a nice little test. All right. There's a little bit of spice to it. You have some nice, thick, seemingly pretty high quality pieces of chicken, like little cubes of chicken here. You've got a little bit of spice to it. You got some beans in there. Obviously, you got your pasta. And you can see little bits of garlic too. So that's probably it. What is that? Some kind of tomato dice. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad at all. It's warm. It's flavorful. You've actually got almost maybe a little bit of a overpowered flavor of garlic there. You can see there's a lot of garlic all throughout this. They really didn't skimp out on it. The military rations that I've had that are related to this, I will be honest, they may be a little bit lower quality mains. They do skimp out a little bit on the chicken. There's not this size chicken pieces in the military ration. There's not nearly as much garlic and tomato sauce, although this may have a little bit too much garlic in it, I will be honest. But overall, it's pretty good. I mean, especially if you haven't had an actual warm meal because you have no power for a while. Eating something like this is pretty good. Mm. I feel like I should have gotten like maybe some crackers or something. I'm gonna have a lot of leftover sauce here. So I could scoop it up, you know. Hmm. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, and that just washes it right down, even though it is just room temperature. Oh, that is so good. Hmm. I mean, I'd go as far to say, as of now, this is easily much better than the military ration of the same vein. Of course, you don't get as much. You, like I said, you don't get any sides with this. You could easily use this for camping if you just go ahead and grab some other things like some moon pies, you know. You fill this ration out a wee bit. This is your main. You have your heater packet already. It comes with, you know, everything you need for your heater packet and your actual meal. And you just add a couple things to it to bring up your calories as well as to fill it out a wee bit. I could easily see this being a success. Instead of a can, you probably just want to have your canteen instead and have some kind of flavor packet to go along with your water. That would cut down on weight tremendously. Liquids, very, very heavy. So if you just have a canteen of water that you can refill up on the trail somewhere with a filter, you can just pull out that little drink mix, pour it into your canteen, or if you have like another little cup or something. I know a lot of canteens do have the separatable cups now built in that you can just put them right into, the World War II style. If you do that, you just stir that up. That would be a great little meal that you could just eat while on the go. Hmm. It only takes about 10-15 minutes to actually get this set up and actually cooking. So, hmm. That's like a nice little lunch. Hmm. The beans themselves do have a little bit of a dry taste, but there's so much of everything that you get about a balanced spoonful with every spoon. You know, you have an even mix of all the ingredients. So it's not like canned beans nowadays where they say they have like that little bit of bacon or beef in it with the beans, and then start eating it, and you have maybe one or two little sections of pork. Hmm. This is not like that at all. Oh yeah. Oh man, that is amazing. Of course, we have our dessert, so let's just open that up and snack on that real quick. This won't keep me filled for long, and especially if you're being active, 300 calories is certainly not enough. But for most people, it's acceptable. You're going to be eating a couple of these throughout the day. Hmm. Oh, moon pies are my guilty pleasure. They're definitely not good for you. They're not even the highest quality, like little candy, but oh yeah, they're still terrific. So yeah, that was the chicken pasta Italiana menu for the Heater X meals. Overall, out of 10, I'd probably rate it a good 7 out of 10, at least as of now. Where it stands compared to other meals, I'm not sure. So as this series is going to go on, I might adjust the scorings, but this is a pretty solid meal so far. And this is a really good meal to start out with. I am very eager to see in the future what kind of meals we will be getting up to. We have a couple other ones. I think there was like a Mexican mix. So they have a pretty good varying of menus. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to rate this 7 out of 10. It's pretty damn good. Whether you just want something quick at work to eat and you don't have access to a microwave, or if you're out on the trail, this is a pretty decent main. All right. Thanks. I'll see you next time.